I didn't even mean to open the app. That's the part that makes me feel the most stupid, like the universe didn't even have to lure me in with anything dramatic. I was standing in my hallway with one shoe on and the other sock sliding on the hardwood, thumb flicking out of muscle memory while I waited for the microwave to stop beeping. My phone was warm from my palm, and then her name popped up. Not a text, not a missed call, just her profile at the top of my feed because someone had tagged her. My eye snagged on the first photo before my brain could put up a hand and say, "Don't." Sunlight, blue water, hard body shoulders, a grin that looked loose and effortless. And then, right next to her in the second photo, was Matt from her office, leaning in like he belonged there. It hit me like when you step off a curb thinking there's one more inch of sidewalk and your stomach drops before your foot lands. I swear I felt it in my throat first, this tight, choking thing like I'd swallowed a coin sideways. My fingers went cold, even though the house was warm. I scrolled back up, like I would undo it, like I could force the screen to show me something else if I stared hard enough. My pulse thudded in my ears. My mouth went dry. I could hear the microwave still beeping in the kitchen and the neighbor's dog barking once and stopping like nothing in the world had changed. I tapped the photo again. Zoomed in. Her laugh lines were real. The tan on her nose was real. The angle of his arm behind her back was real. And the caption, some airy, breezy line about finally breathing again, might as well have been a hand pushing me down. It was a Tuesday night when she told me she needed space. Not a blowout, not screaming, not plates breaking. Just a Tuesday. We'd had leftover pasta. The TV was on low. She sat on the far end of the couch, like it was a different piece of furniture than the one I was on. We'd been together 5 years, living together for 2. I'm 31. She's 29. Her name is Olivia. Mine's Chris. We're not some glamorous couple. We're the kind that argues about whether we're out of dish soap and then makes up over a shared bag of chips. I work in IT at a mid-sized company. I'm a steady one. I like receipts. I like routines. I like knowing what's coming. Olivia works in marketing, and her job comes with team dinners and quick drinks and Slack messages that ping at weird hours. The last few months before that Tuesday had been off, but not in a way I could point to like a bruise. It was the little stuff. She started guarding her phone the way you guard a drink at a crowded bar, always in her hand, screen angled away, face down if she set it down at all. She started coming home later and talking faster, like if she filled the air with enough words I wouldn't have time to ask the wrong questions. Sometimes she'd kiss me, and it felt like she was checking a box. Sometimes she'd be sweet, almost overly sweet, and I'd get this weird feeling like I was being handled carefully. And I was just there. That's what I kept telling myself. Matt from her office, the name that came up in stories. The guy who always seemed to be in the background of her work photos. I met him once at a holiday party. He had that confident, harmless vibe, clean haircut, easy smile, the type of guy who says your name a lot like it means something. He shook my hand and called me man twice in one sentence. Olivia introduced us like she wanted me to approve of him. I did. I didn't want to be the insecure boyfriend policing her friendships. I've seen those guys. I didn't want to be one. So when she said she needed space, I tried to be grown up about it. We were in the kitchen when she finally said it. She was twisting her ring. She didn't wear one, but she twisted the little band she had on her thumb like it was a replacement for something. Her eyes stayed on the countertop. I think I need a little space, she said, like she was asking for more closet room. I actually laughed at first because my brain went space, like a weekend alone, like a night out with the girls. I said, "Okay, what does that mean?" And my voice sounded normal, which felt wrong. "It's not you," she said immediately, and I felt my stomach drop again because people only say that when it's absolutely you or it's absolutely someone else. She exhaled and rubbed her forehead. I just feel crowded, like I don't know who I am anymore. I need to breathe. I remember the stupid details. The sink had a single spoon in it. The overhead light buzzed faintly. I could smell the detergent on the dish towel. My hands were sweating, and I wiped them on my jeans, even though that didn't help. "Are you breaking up with me?" I asked, and I hated how small the word sounded. "No," she said quickly. Too quickly. "No, I'm not. I'm not saying that. I just need some time. A little distance." "Distance how?" I asked. Like you're going to stay somewhere else? She nodded like she'd already decided and was just waiting for me to catch up. I can crash with Jenna for a bit, she said. A couple weeks. Just let's not make a big thing. I stood there looking at her like she'd changed languages. 2 weeks. She'd pack a bag. She'd live somewhere else. And I was supposed to not make it a big thing. What did I do? I asked because it felt like there had to be a reason I could fix. I want a checklist. I want a receipt. I wanted something clean. Her eyes finally met mine, and they were tired in a way I couldn't decode. Nothing, she said. You didn't do anything wrong. That's the problem. You're good. You're stable. And I feel like I'm disappearing inside that. I should have been angry. I should have said, then leave. But it wasn't like she was throwing plates. It was like she was gently setting me down. So I did what I thought you do when you love someone. I made space. I helped her pack. I didn't want to, but my body did it anyway, like I was watching myself in third person. She folded t-shirts. I held a suitcase open. She tossed in toiletries. I asked questions I pretended were casual. Jenna's cool with this? Yeah. You'll still come by for the dog? Of course. We had a dog together, a mutt we adopted during the pandemic, because we thought we were the kind of couple who did that. She kissed the top of his head, and he wagged his tail like this was a normal errand. Before she left, she hugged me, and it felt rehearsed, like she'd practiced the exact pressure. Please don't blow up my phone, she said softly, like she was trying to soothe the bear. If you give me this, I'll come back better. I remember nodding like a person who had any control over this. I remember her walking out and the click of the door sounding too loud. Then I stood in the hallway for a long time, staring at the empty spot where her shoes usually were. For the first few days, I tried to be supportive. I texted once a day, short messages. Hope you're okay. Dog misses you. How was work? She replied with polite little bubbles of words that felt like they were written with gloves on. Thanks. Long day. Just tired. If I asked when she'd be back, she'd say soon. I'm not ready yet. If I said I missed her, she'd heart the message and say nothing else. Then she went quiet. Not completely, but the gaps got wider. A day without a reply. 2 days. I'd see her online. I'd see she'd watch my story. I'd feel my chest tighten like my body was trying to hold my organs in place. And here's the part I'm embarrassed to admit. I started checking. Not hacking. Not tracking her phone. Just looking. Her social media. Her friends' profiles. The kind of behavior you swear you'll never do until you're doing it at 1 a.m. with your eyes burning and your brain searching for anything to grab onto. That's how I found the vacation photos. The first one was by a pool. Her hair wet. Sunglasses pushed up on her head. She looked rested. Not, I'm figuring myself out, tired. Rested like someone who'd been sleeping through the night. The next one was on a boat. Wind in her face. Matt behind her, hand on the railing near her hip like he'd done it 100 times. And the third was them at dinner. Candlelight. 2 wine glasses. Her chin tipped up, smiling at him like he'd said something that belonged to just them. My hand shook so badly I almost dropped the phone. I sat down hard on the floor in my hallway, back against the wall like my legs had quit. The microwave had stopped beeping a long time ago. The house smelled faintly like reheated pasta. The dog trotted over and shoved his nose into my shoulder, confused by my stillness. I stared at the caption again, finally breathing again, like I had been the thing suffocating her. I went to her profile. She hadn't blocked me. That almost made it worse, like she wasn't even afraid of me seeing. Like she'd already decided what I was allowed to know. The comments were full of little hearts, and you deserve this, and so happy for you. Jenna commented, my girl, with a bunch of enthusiasm, and my brain snagged on that. Jenna, the friend she was supposedly staying with. The cover story that suddenly looked like a joke everyone was in on except me. I called her. Straight to voicemail. I called again. Voicemail. My throat burned. I kept swallowing and nothing helped. I texted, are you on a trip? And the words looked pathetic the second they left my thumbs. I added, with Matt, and then just stared at the bubbles like I could force them to turn into those 3 dots. No reply. I called Matt's name in my head like it was a curse. I clicked on his profile too, because of course I did. His story was public. He'd posted the same pool photo from a different angle. And in his version, Her hand was on his knee under the table. It was subtle, but it was there like a little signature. I made this sound, half laugh, half choke, that scared the dog. It wasn't dramatic crying. It was more like my body didn't know what emotion was correct, so it tried a few at once and failed. 2 hours later, Olivia finally texted, "Can we not do this right now? I told you I needed space." Space. Space while she flew somewhere warm and smiled into a camera with her coworker. I stared at that message until my vision blurred. Then something in me went very still. Not rage, not screaming, just a quiet click like a latch closing. I typed, so the space was for him, and my hands didn't shake while I wrote it, which scared me more than if they had. She didn't answer for a long time. Then, it's complicated. Complicated. The word people use when the truth is simple but ugly. I don't know what I expected. A confession, an apology, something that acknowledged the shape of what she'd done. But all she gave me was distance and vocabulary that made me feel like the problem for noticing. I didn't beg. I didn't threaten. I just wrote, "Please don't come back here and act like I'm crazy. If you're done, be done. But don't keep me on a string while you post your new life." She replied with, "I'm not posting a new life. I'm just trying to be happy." Like happiness had happened to her. Like she hadn't chosen the plane ticket and the dinner reservation and the photos. After that, I sat on my couch with the dog pressed against my leg and I stared at the blank TV screen. I kept thinking about that Tuesday night in the kitchen, about the spoon in the sink, about the way she said, "Don't make it a big thing," like my life was an inconvenience, about how I helped her pack like a helpful idiot because I thought love meant being reasonable. I don't know what the next step is. I don't know if I'm supposed to text her and demand the truth I already have. I don't know if I'm supposed to cut clean and start calling lawyers. I don't know if she's going to come home and cry and swear it was nothing, or if she's going to come home and be angry at me for making her the villain. All I know is I can't unsee the way she looked in those photos, how easy it was, how unburdened, like I was already a story she'd told herself about why she deserved a fresh start. And I hate that the proof didn't come as a dramatic confession. It came as a pool photo and a caption. It came as her smiling next to a man she told me not to worry about, while I was at home waiting like a decent person for the space I was told would save us. If you made it to the end, thank you for watching. And if you've ever had one small thing, a post, a photo, a detail that didn't fit, crack your whole life open, feel free to share your story in the comments.